We now bring you the story of systematic subversion of crackdown on corruption in Karnataka. It is not us saying this, it's the Karnataka High Court which blew the lid off how the ACB was set up 6 years back, and it was called a bid to set up a parallel body, but the intention was more insidious, to weaken the Lokayukta. Remember, the Anti-Corruption Bureau was set up by the Congress government, then led by Mr. Siddaramaiah in 2016. The High Court, in scathing observations, said the ACB directly diluted the functioning of the Lokayukta, which in turn shielded corrupt politicians and officers. The court also said the Anti-Corruption Bureau is unsustainable and malified. Today, when we went back to Mr. Siddaramaiah and asked him whether he was trying to make the Lokayukta toothless, here's what he said.
I respect the decision of the High Court. It is for the government to take a decision. Our government is not there. Anti-Corruption Bureau is existing in so many states, not only in Karnataka. In Gujarat also, there is an Anti-Corruption Bureau. The circumstances were different when it was constituted. Now, the High Court has taken a decision that abolishing the government order. I welcome it.
But the blame runs on both sides because, interestingly, the BJP government also did nothing to change the status quo, that despite promising to abolish the ACB.
High Court ನಲ್ಲಿ ACB ಒಂದು ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಆಗಿದೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಪ್ರಣಾಳಿಕೆ ಆ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಪ್ರಣಾಳಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು ಇವತ್ತು ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಲವಾರು ಸೂಚನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಆ ಮೂಲ ಪ್ರತಿ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಅದಕ್ಕೇನೆಲ್ಲ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇದೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಏನು BJPಯ ಪ್ರಣಾಳಿಕೆ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಆಧರಿಸಿನೇ ಮುಂದಿನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ.
The News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
All right, joining us right now is the President of the Karnataka Congress, Mr. DK Shivakumar. So the number one question everyone in Karnataka is wondering right now is the leadership issue in your party sorted? Who is the face of the Congress going into election? You or Mr. Siddaramaiah?
There is no leadership issue in Karnataka. We are going on a collective leadership. That is the party mandate. We all have sat together, decided that we will fight the election with a collective leadership.
But much was made of the hug between you and Mr. Siddaramaiah, with Mr. Rahul Gandhi mediating on stage, almost nudging the two of you. What was that about?
No, it is just, I think I had not got any symptoms. It was a natural hug, which we all wanted to live together, work together, fight together. That is what it is. It is no intervention of any of our leaders on that issue.
Because it seemed more like a power push by Mr. Siddaramaiah, the grand celebrations that happened around his birthday, his supporters speaking up saying that only one community is not going to win you elections, Lokaligas alone is not going to power you to a win. Is that animosity or acrimony now in the past? Are you sure it's not going to raise its head again in the run-up to your elections?
No. See, Congress party believes in Basavana philosophy. Congress party is for everyone. We are not worried about any caste, creed or any religion. We all have joined together. The party believes taking everyone together. That is what, whichever community is there is not the important issue. All have to join together. It is a multi-caste state which has a very significant stature in the state. I think there is no much discussion we can have on this issue.
Now, you have suggested repeatedly, along with other leaders of your party, that Mr. Bommai is going to be replaced perhaps in the next few hours, before the 15th of August or on the 15th of August. Are you trying to muddy waters for Mr. Bommai? Everyone, Mr. Yediyurappa, other MLAs, ministers are saying there's no problem, but you keep insisting. Why are you constantly, playing with Mr. Bommai?
See, there will not be smoke without any fire. It is their own leaders, party leaders, including many ministers, including the sitting minister, was telling one Mr. Ishwarappa, who was a minister, also said that there will be a change of leadership and one Mr. Nirani will become. Former minister has said yesterday, other minister has said that all political posts for sale. Like that, so many MPs, MLAs have spoken on this issue. That is what, when they came up to this issue, I think a lot of issues has to be discussed. Being an opposition party, we have to tell to the people what governance they are giving.
The same no smoke without fire argument can be made about the Congress also, that there will be no smoke about differences if there was no fire. So is there a fire in the Congress as well?
See, if there is any incident of such things in my party, there may be individual opinions, but as a party we stand united, we will work united, we will fight united.
Okay, one of the things that you have repeatedly said about the Bommai government, you've called it the 40% government of how there is corruption, that there is commission raj happening. But the Karnataka High Court on the issue of corruption has come down very hard on your government under Mr. Siddaramaiah. In 2016, you tried to make the Lokayukta toothless by getting an ACB. The Karnataka High Court has not only set aside the ACB but has also severely reprimanded your government then. Did you not try and cover up corruption then?
No, see, there was a ACB in all the states, ACB in many states, including Gujarat, so many states. Karnataka wanted to have a separate anti-corruption unit. Though Lokayukta was there, still we wanted to make it more strong. Now the High Court has scrapped it. We welcome it. It was not on covering any of the issue. It is giving more strength to the Anti-Corruption Bureau. I think we respect whatever the High Command is. There is no question of covering any corruption.
But the High Court didn't seem to think so. Here is what they said. They said, why set up an ACB when there is already a Lokayukta? It has questioned the supreme powers given to the Chief Minister to direct investigations on part of the ACB because there is a potential of misuse against political opponents. Again, I ask you, was this an effort? And it's very important because the Congress, when it comes to Mrs. Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, say that ED is being used for a witch hunt. Now the High Court is saying that perhaps you set up the ACB to launch a witch hunt against your opponents. Which one is it? If not to cover up corruption, was the ACB meant to witch hunt your opponents?
We have, see, we have not vindicated even a single case when my government was there. We have not done any such political this one, how BJP is using their offices. We have not, as far as Congress party in Karnataka is concerned, we have not done any witch hunting. If there are any such cases, I welcome them. They can speak on that. We have not done. We have not harassed anyone.
No, but the Karnataka High Court has questioned your intent, that you gave such powers to the Chief Minister that they could easily be misused against your political opponents. Aren't you then doing to the ACB, or you did to the ACB, what you accused the BJP of doing to ED?
See, ED is being misused now. This was being from the day one. Then lot of discussion has been taken, deliberated in the assembly. Even the BJP at that point of time also agreed on the formation of the BJP and on the ACB, and we formed it. And a lot of cases were being registered against various corrupt officers. Many people has to go to jail. You know how serious corruption, as rightly you said earlier on this 40% commission, it was a registered union headed by Mr. Kempanna, who wrote to the Prime Minister. He himself has said, a sitting MLC and so many other legislators already said that there is a corruption. Even a Mat Swamiji said that 30% commission, even we have to pay. All this led to see that this is the most corrupt state of the country.
Okay, so if you want to fight on an anti-corruption plank, fair enough. But when the same anti-corruption activity takes place in Delhi and Mrs. Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi are called for questioning, why do you as a party oppose it? Sir, you held out that march on the day that Mr. Gandhi and Mrs. Gandhi were called for questioning. Why? You should support the anti-corruption initiative.
See, there is no corruption here. It is you all know the history of this National Herald or AGL. This is a very paper issue. It is a newspaper issue formed by our leaders. That legacy has been taken out. Who were the Congress party? Narsim was there. Mr. K was there. They were heading this. Now it is there. There is no corruption or no money laundering taken place. It is purely a political witch hunting which has been going on our leaders. That is why we said that earlier also the income tax had said that there is no money laundering case. Where is money laundering here? Whether they have declared that the property belongs to them. No leader has declared that the property belongs to them in their affidavits. This is just to harass them. If you harass the leaders, all others can be harassed. This is an issue which they are trying to. We will face it. With the law of the land will protect us.
Okay. You are going to launch a massive yatra across the state to kick off your election campaign. What is going to be the top 2 issues that you are going to take to the people? I'm assuming corruption is one because you mentioned the 40% government. What is the other? Top 2 issues.
The Yatra is the freedom march. This is a freedom march. This is a non-political march. We want the younger generation to know the contribution of our forefathers to this country. So this is one of the biggest march we are taking. It is a non-political issue.
But since you mentioned the freedom march, the tricolour seems to be the overarching theme of this march. Already the centre has started the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations, Tiranga March, where, by the way, your party did not participate. When it was kicked off in Delhi, it was a multi-party event. Everyone was invited. Your party did not participate. Is this a competition about who is appropriating Tiranga? Competitive patriotism?
No, this is before what they say. We decided 600 leaders of this country joined in Rajasthan, in Udaipur. We discussed on this. This is our legacy. The freedom movement is our legacy, which our leaders have given us. They make strength to this country. Either it is a national flag or a national anthem or the constitution or the independence. It is set. So Congress party is leading this in this. Let BJP also try to do whatever they want. Let the government want it. We don't want it to interfere there. But as a Congress party, they are not trying to take everyone together. But still, we want everyone to be a part of this great movement.
But Tiranga Yatra is for everyone. Tiranga Yatra is not of the BJP. It is of the government of India. It is for India. Why would you not want to participate in the Tiranga Yatra or Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav?
We are not questioning. We are not questioning. We are not questioning. We are not questioning. Our party leaders are also taking everyone together. We are not trying to sell any flags ourselves. We are doing it on our own. I don't know why government has taken this decision to sell the flags.
Okay. Finally, I want to ask
25 rupees, they could have just distributed to all common men.
Okay, finally I want to ask you, because when you will be taking out this yatra, you will also be going through coastal Karnataka, which at this point is seeing a very surcharged atmosphere. We have most recently had a murder, which is now being investigated by the NIA, growing calls for a ban on the PFI. Will you, as a party in the election, support a ban on the PFI? And do you believe it to be a terrorist organization?
Let the ruling government take a decision. We don't want to interfere with it. They will look at it. We don't want to involve with them. We want peace in the state. Whoever is guilty of it, whoever is committed crime, they should be punished. Let the law of this land take its own course. We don't want to interfere with it. Let us not comment on it. We will leave freely to the government. They are in power. They can use their mighty power, and let us give us peace to the state and the country.
But what do you believe about the PFI? Is it a terrorist organization?
I don't want to comment on that. The more information they have than us.
All right. On that note, thank you very much, Mr. DK Shivakumar, and Independence Day greetings to you as well. Thank you very much for speaking to us. All right, joining us now on the show, we have Minister for Health and Family Welfare in the Government of Karnataka, Dr. Sudhakar K. Thanks very much, sir, for speaking to us. The big strike against efforts to try and blunt anti-corruption body is the Karnataka High Court, which struck down the Anti-Corruption Bureau that had been set up by Mr. Siddaramaiah. While, of course, the Congress is being criticized for trying to make the Lokayukta toothless, why did your government also back the ACB in court?
See, first of all, you should know that our government, our party in principle, by 2018 in the manifesto, we have said that we will abolish ACB and we will bring back Lokayukta. There is no going back on that. But in 2014, when Congress regime was there in Karnataka, it is Mr. Siddaramaiah, then the Chief Minister, who abolished, who really diluted the powers of Lokayukta. He took away all the powers and he created what is called as ACB, which is directly reporting to the Chief Minister. So he allowed this agency to just work under his leadership to suit his requirements, that is the government's requirements, to safeguard his leaders and other people in the cabinet who were involved in rampant corruption. So today they have been exposed thoroughly in the High Court judgment. If you see, they have made such elaborate references, and today our Honorable Chief Minister also has made a press statement after our cabinet meet saying that we abide by the High Court's order, and also basically, since in the manifesto it is our statement, it is our the party had said that we would like to bring back the Lokayukta system, so we will adhere to it. This is what he has mentioned this afternoon.
Fair enough, but let me also quote to you from the order between the pages 80 to 88. Your government today is saying that you'll abide by the verdict, but the current Advocate General of Karnataka, here's what they said in court. The petitioner has no locus, the ACB has not diluted the Lokayukta, and the ACB does not disturb the powers of the Lokayukta. Your government pretty much also defended the Anti-Corruption Bureau in court.
Since last 7 years, more than 7 years, there is a system in place. So our Advocate General, in his wisdom, also in discussion with the Law Minister, must have made some references. But we are sure that our Honorable Chief Minister has made a categorical statement standing by the manifesto assurance that we have given as a party, as a political party. So we will abide by the manifesto and also the High Court order. We will try to honor the judgment of the High Court.
Let me now turn the focus to this entire politics of corruption which is being done in Karnataka. The Congress is saying that Mr. Bommai is going to go in the next 24 hours, if they are to be believed, because the tag of 40% government is haunting you. Is Mr. Bommai going to be removed on the 15th of August?
See, basically the Congress party in Karnataka has become really notorious and they are vulnerable. They would like to, they want to just put the blame on the government, and somehow they want to come back to power in 2023. Their leadership, they are at loggerheads with each other, KPCC president and CLP leader. Similarly, there are other leaders who are aspiring to be the next chief minister, where there is chief minister's chair is not, CM's chair is still not vacant in Karnataka. And our honorable chief minister, after assuming the office, has displayed his administrative capacities, capabilities. He is one of the finest administrators. He has started implementing all the national government's programs very effectively in all the departments. He has touched upon the lives of every segment, every strata of the society, right from education to healthcare, infrastructure, women empowerment. These are the broad, and irrigation. And there are so many national programs also in which in the mission mode we are trying to implement in Karnataka. He has become so popular today. The people of Karnataka call him as a common man chief minister, who is very simple but high in thinking, very visionary leader. So the Congress is in the doldrums. They would like to put a spoke in the kind of journey that our government and our party is going ahead with. So they are trying to create confusion amongst the people, saying that there will be another change of the chief minister.
They are trying to create confusion to offset their own divide. But sorry to interrupt you, just an interjection. There are repeated visits by Mr. Bommai to Delhi. There are leaders of the BJP from the centre who come to Karnataka. Why this repeated consultation if there is no problem?
No. Honorable Chief Minister has to visit Delhi because our union government is in Delhi. If there are so many national programs that is going on in Karnataka, he need to ensure that a proper mechanism is there, and he has to be in contact with the ministries of the respective departments. And this is quite natural and normal in my opinion. Like all the chief ministers have visited Delhi in the past, and he has continued the tradition. There is nothing political about it. And as a chief minister, when he visits Delhi, he will take time out to meet some of our leaders, which is not uncommon. It is quite common and natural.
The double issue that you have, one, corruption.
When it comes to our Honorable Prime Minister coming to Karnataka, Honorable Prime Minister coming to Karnataka on the International Yoga Day, selecting Mysore, itself speaks that he trusts this Chief Minister, he trusts the government. He has said openly that Bommai ji is doing good, and our Amit Shah ji, who is our Home Minister, he has also in the public, he said, we will go to the election under the leadership of Mr. Bommai. Then where is the confusion? Our General Secretary in charge, Mr. Arun Sikh, even today had his press brief in Delhi. He has reiterated. Who else needs to, and who are Congress leaders to comment on our leadership? They have no locus standi, they have no information, there is no rationale behind their allegation. It is just to completely shift the focus of the people, because they are now witnessing what real governance is. So they would like to change the minds of the people by creating this kind of a confusion.
Thanks very much, Dr. Sudhakar, for having spoken to us. Thank you very much for watching.